tears for the tear god, salt for the salt throne, and gas the leaf tribe.
With the recent bannings of Alex Jones from like every platform, Faith Goldie from Facebook, and soon David Wood, I think we need to talk about John Stuart Mill. On Liberty was published in 1859 and built on works written prior for 160 years or more. These arguments have existed, and they're almost unassailable. And yet there's people that still haven't got the message. Maybe they didn't read it. Maybe they read it and didn't understand it. It is a little dense, but that's because I believe there's not a wasted syllable in the entire essay. I was tempted to just read on Liberty into the I actually tried to do it. This does not a good video make. So I'm still trying to condense it, just pick a few choice excerpts, and yet it's not going to be enough. This is going to end up being like a series of videos. And for those of you who have read it, that may be kind of boring. For those of you who haven't, I'm going to leave a link to the free ebook in the bottom. Spread that around. It's free. Everyone should have this. Everyone should read it. Everyone should try to disprove it. Yeah. Good luck with that, kids. All right, so this is the ebook, and if you want to jump in, we're on page 35, somewhere in there. It's about being wrong, this chunk, or at least the possibility of it. If all mankind minus one were of one opinion, and only one person were of the contrary opinion, mankind would be no more justified in silencing that one person than he, if he had the power, would be justified in silencing mankind. Sorry, they, humankind, whatever. The point is, Facebook is no more justified in silencing Alex Jones and Faith Goldie and David Wood than they would be in silencing the rest of Facebook. Why? Well, see. The peculiar evil of silencing the expression of an opinion is that it is robbing the human race, posterity as well as the existing generation, those who dissent from the opinion still more than those who hold it. If the opinion is right, they are deprived of the opportunity of exchanging error for truth. If wrong, they lose what is almost as great a benefit, the clearer perception and livelier impression of truth produced by its collision with error. You might be wrong, and Faith Goldie might be right. So if you silence her opinion, you would deny yourself the opportunity to learn something new and become right. Now, let's assume for a moment that she is wrong. It's still not right to censor her, because if you're right, you should be able to prove that. So you gain the practice in debating, in honing your arguments, in refining your points, to make it clearer than ever to anyone who would ever ask, what's up with this Faith Goldie chick? So either way, censoring is the wrong tactic. Okay? What's next? Okay. We can never be sure that the opinion we are endeavoring to stifle is a false opinion, and if we were sure, stifling it would be an evil still. Those who desire to suppress it, of course, deny its truth, but they are not infallible. They have no authority to decide the question for all mankind, and exclude every other person from the means of judging. To refuse a hearing to an opinion because they are sure that it is false is to assume that their certainty is the same thing as absolute certainty. All silencing of discussion is an assumption of infallibility. So, if you've ever locked your keys in the car, or spilled a drink, or left the house wearing 2 different socks and not noticed for several hours, what makes you think that you are the one who's capable of being the arbiter of not only what can be said, but what can be heard? All right, you can choose for yourself all you want, what to listen to and what to ignore, but you can't choose that for me or the rest of the world, or even just the rest of Facebook in this case. This is a particularly interesting little bit here. There is the greatest difference between presuming an opinion to be true because with every opportunity for contesting it, it has not been refuted, and assuming its truth for the purpose of not permitting its refutation. Now, why I find this one particularly interesting is that it works beautifully in reverse. By censoring people, you're not permitting refutation of their opinions, which can also suggest that you can't do it. Or worse, that you fear there's no one that can. Okay. We don't stop doing simple science experiments because we already know the results. We actually maintain a lot of them, like putting the burning Kleenex in the bottom of a glass bottle so that the air around it will push the egg through the neck, and because of the pressure difference. Anyone with any basic science background knows that, but also they did that experiment when they were a kid, and we should still keep bad arguments and wrong opinions around so that little kids can learn to debate, refute, debunk, critically think. Censorship still doesn't work here. Complete liberty of contradicting and disproving our opinion is the very condition which justifies us in assuming its truth for purposes of action, and on no other terms can a being with human faculties have any rational assurance of being right. For example, if I were to tell you, this is the strongest substance ever discovered, that nothing can pierce or puncture or damage it in any way, you wouldn't use that as armor. Not until you tested that over and over again. And 100 weapons and 100 experiments later, even if it did survive, you would still wonder, is there something though? And you'd be right to do it. You would be absolutely right to assume that I made that shit up and test it over and over again and doubt it still. So for a little bit here, Mill goes on to talk about the wisest of people in history and how, even though most of them even have been proven wrong as ages go by, we've still gained greatly from those people and their wrong, now proven wrong opinions. And he attributes this to the source of everything respectable in man, either as an intellectual or as a moral being, namely, that his errors are corrigible. He is capable of rectifying his mistakes by discussion and experience, not by experience alone. There must be discussion to show how experience is to be interpreted. Wrong opinions and practices gradually yield to fact and argument, but facts and arguments to produce any effect on the mind must be brought before it. The whole strength and value then of human judgment depending on the one property, that it can be set right when it is wrong. Reliance can be placed on it only when the means of setting it right are kept constantly at hand. Okay? And this doesn't just mean that we have it nearby. It means that we use it regularly and hone it. Right? Like a weapon. Okay? Unused knives get dull and rusty. Used knives stay sharp and shiny. And we should have access to every wrong opinion and bad argument for all time, just so we can practice. This is getting a little long, so I'm going to finish with this one. And this is about falsifiability. If even the Newtonian philosophy were not permitted to be questioned, mankind could not feel as complete assurance of its truth as they do now. And it's actually a good thing that we did continue to question it, because now we have a lot deeper understanding. We've gone into quantum mechanics, M theory, and whatnot. So there it is. Proof in the pudding. The beliefs which we have most warrant for have no safeguard to rest on, but a standing invitation to the whole world to prove them unfounded. This is John Stuart Mill's Come At Me, Bro. He's challenging everyone in the world to refute him. And there's a free ebook now. If you want to censor people, you have no excuse. You have no excuse to not try it. Okay? Go ahead. Free ebook. Send it to your smarter than you friend. We all have one. Ask that person to try and refute it. I dare you. But remember, you're likely going to need to be free to say anything at all to even try to do this. Good luck, kids. Relevant links to shit I said in the description? Maybe. I'm Urban Twin. Like, subscribe, or don't. It's a free country. At least it used to be.